woken to a misty morning this morning, so promise of a fine day. Sometime today I've got a little bit more mowing to do to get some of this long grass sorted out. But we'll go and have a bit of a look around. Problems I have here with the black wattle is that they don't live all that long. They start to die off. Like this one has a tremendous lean towards the fence, and this is quite often what happens. They rot in the middle and start to split, and the split goes all the way down. And of course this one is aiming for the fence, so it has to go. This is the previous pile of limbs and branches, etc. that I had piled up next to the chipping station, if you want to call it that. So that'll be the first to go. And this, of course, used to be that really big pile of chips that I had. It's all used up now, so I've got to try and make it all again. And the grass in the back here is getting to be about 1.5 meters high, so another job to get in there with a brush cutter and shorten it all up. But oddly enough, I haven't seen any sign of the kangaroos. They're usually around somewhere this time of morning, but I must have found a nice juicy little spot. The depth of this water over the creek crossing here at about 3 AM that morning was about 1 metre, and you can well imagine the amount of force involved in that sort of water movement. Yes, anyone that's got a property in a sort of subtropical or tropical area knows that come summertime, this is what you've got to do on a regular basis. It's certainly no golf course, but the grass grows up very, very quickly here. This area was cleared and was basically dirt, and I was clawing rocks out of it only a short while ago. So I had to push through with the mower. Took 2 or 3 goes to get it down. This is how it looks after the first pass. I mean, it was well over my head, so it's about 6 foot long, the grass, in about no more than 4 weeks. And so I'll have to run over this again at a lower height on the mower to get it down eventually, but I'll finish slashing through the heavy stuff as soon as I can. Well, one of the hazards of mowing in long grass like this, particularly when you live next door to an extinct volcano, is that you get a lifetime supply of basalt rocks. And but over the years, I've gradually been getting the rocks down to a more usable level, sort of thing. So, like this one here has got a nice flat top on it now. But, it's a little bit hard on the blades, I must admit, but when you've got so many rocks hidden in the long grass, it's a bit difficult to avoid. I've been using the grapple on my tractor to try and hook most of them out of this paddock, and I've been making a bit of progress until this grass started to grow. So until that's all finished with, I've just got to persevere. But as you can see, the grass here has got a certain determination to it. So I've just got to hoe into it and keep it down to a manageable level. Even though it's growing long, if I keep mowing it, it's not quite as thick and hard as the old mature Soteria. Oh, there it is, just a rough cut over the top to get rid of the really, really long grass, which is pretty hard yakka. And The rest of the paddock out there is going to need mowing in the next week or two. Probably the next week, I'd say, the way it's growing. But generally speaking, when you cut a path through it, you suddenly realise just how long it's been getting. The lantana growing on the sides here is quite nasty too, because whilst it may have pretty pink flowers, it's horrible spiky stuff, and it every time I drive through it I end up bleeding. So there we go. We'll make our way back. I just wanted to get on top of the really rough stuff. That was the first time I've ever got the motor drive shaft hooked up first time. Something had to go right. This is climbing up the hill at the back of the property. That tree line ahead there is about halfway up the hill to our boundary. The bush at the back we just let go. It's just all wild timber now. It was never really used. After we let all the bananas go, it just went back to bush and mostly grass on these where I've kept it open to get access. Let's stop for a rest here. This is the view from halfway up the hill to my back boundary. This used to be all covered in bananas. When I first came here, there were 15,000 banana trees on the property, and I didn't want to spray the chemicals that were necessary to look after them, so I just let the grass and the trees take over. It's a lovely place to be. Here we go. When my little Honda Brushcutter gave up the ghost, it stopped very suddenly. When we went to start it, I assumed that something had broken mechanically. It wasn't until I got the cover off that we found out differently. Okay, I had a little trouble with the Brushcutter. It's a little Honda, and I don't know if you can see it there, but these here are rib cages from a snake. It's crawled inside the Megans, and down inside there too. It's a bit hard to see, but down inside there is the snake all wound around the crankshaft now, making life very difficult for us, but here's his best smile. You can see his tiny little thing. His head's only about 10 mil long. Very, very thin little tree snake. So we got blood and guts and gizzards to haul out. The things you do for maintenance. Okay, we just pull the flywheel off now. Oh, she's come loose. You can see the rib cage there, but we'll see what's inside. Oh, there he is. Oh my God. Look at the little beggar. Yeah. Lights. Yeah, all curled up around the inside. I don't think he's going to do that again. looking great. A little bit messy up here, but rescuable anyway. Must have just gummed up the works. Well, there he is. One little tiny skinny whip snake, tree snake. It's a bit hard to tell. Had a yellow belly anyway. That's about all we can say about it. Alright, snake's been extracted. This is the first test. Let's see if we can start the thing. Look at that. Good job, Josh. Please let me know what you think, and if you have any suggestions or comments, do so below. Thank you. Bye bye.